LK10, the country's best tasting yogurt, or something else. This is Pink Shorts. Pink Shorts is filmed in front of a live democracy, republic, both exposed and approved, Yoga Nathan. Thank you for writing MRail, the new safety video. This is auditory nerve, auditorium station, the CBIS iPhone. This is Pink Shorts, the use of my client's medulla, my primary cortex, my primary visual, my primary auditory, my oculate fasciculus, my hippocampus, my wernicke, my bracca, my angular gyrus, or any part of the left or right hemisphere of the brain is in agreement. Discretion of all content obtained will be used for the new or television network and Merriweather businesses. Contact us at 518-594-1443. In agreement with California's wiretapping law, it is a crime to record or eavesdrop on any confidential communication, including a private conversation telephone call, Google Hang-ins, Google Hangouts, things that change without the consent of all parties to the conversation, is a reference violation of Section Code 632. Statute of limitations don't apply. In- Intrusion claims in California last for 2 years, according to Section Code 335.1. Intrusion upon seclusion claims. Reference Howell versus New York Post. This is an email you have received. Intrusion upon seclusion is a special form of invasion of privacy. It applies when someone intentionally intrudes physically, solitude, or seclusion of another. In moist states, intrusion upon seclusion claims must generally establish four elements. First, defendant without authorization intentionally invade the private affairs of a plaintiff or a babysitting business. Second, must be offensive to a reasonable person or a babysitting business. Third, must have intruded upon and a babysitting business. Finally, have caused mental anguish to tightening, wisdom, aneurysm, blood clots, mental anguish or pain and suffering to the plaintiff. Please reference mass tort claims in the new Walmart on Transit Road, Buffalo. Thank you, Attorney. You're welcome. Due to time constraints, we have to expedite our intro. We have an interview with Jonathan I from Apple and the new iPhone 7. I'm very excited to do today's show. I'm wearing savvy from head to toe. I did all the things you wanted me to do. I should have said no. I did all the things. My ID is valid. Audio experience 11 song. I'm a motivational speaker. Richest man in America, universe, world, galaxy. Stay me some. Paint the short way. I said all the things you needed me to do. I'm the highest paid singer in the world. Tweet us via early or late at FRESH_JORDANZ every 20 minutes of the hour. Hashtag your favorite song. Money. Remember 311, all to speed your presidential screening process. All liquids must be in London a 3-ounce size container. Remember 2511, intercepting wire or an electronic communication prohibit. The new prohibition. Liquids from yourself. Thank you, Geico. You're welcome. Today's show is sponsored by MerriweatherA.Law and America's first singing attorney. We made the law sound wonderful, the way it should have been. Besides everything. I'm messing up a lot today. Today's show is QRM Agency, all broadcast media, social media, Abdwa, your favorite song. Be creative. I love the song, Close the Doors, Seatbelts. The music will sink into the sound system. Temperatures on 67 degrees. We're in a 2017 luxury from a toy you. You can run your windows up, you can run your windows down, you can ride with us to get the finer things in life. Today's show is sponsored by Citrix, Billing Software, Bank of America, and TCBY Custom Corner Yogurts. We're on 7th Street. We're 1989. And Erica Reed will be serving our small, medium, large, extra large, and XXL flavors in your choice. Welcome to Custom Corner and TCBY. We'll let the White House explain those flavors in a minute. We're expediting our intro. It's Pink Shorts Adobe Willustrator Pre. CDMA GSM, our supervisor Ethan, ethnicities must separate. Email MTNOVI or HSBC with iPhone. Mistakes and programming differences per LK10 miles by the only way. Use your frequent flyer miles here. Yeah, use your frequent flyer miles here. We're going right into our intro. Again, today's show, sponsored by the Chewy Ooey Gooey Ooey 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 Gooey Ooey Ooey and Esther Galia's Tax Services. Well, you won.
Mission presents.
We have a commercial. We can't play that. We don't have clearance. Geico, I'm so sorry. Get to Apple, Jonathan Ive. A conversation with Vanity Fair's Graydon Carter and Apple.
It's a good time to be Jonathan Ive.
Hello, Vanity Fair
Recently
and
by the Queen.
Jonathan Ive. Hello.
Apple iPhones, which have to great acclaim.
Hello, Twitter.
He's got a watch coming
We'll
out.
be answering questions anonymously. Hello.
Apple was just named the most valuable brand in the world for the umpteenth time.
Apple.
And he's the greatest
When can we
industrial
expect your
designer in the world
announcement
right now.
in September?
So what are the upsides and downsides of being Johnny Ive right now?
When can we expect your announcement?
Good Lord. Well, the downside is I have to spend much too much time with myself.
The downside.
The upside
The downside.
is I've been terribly lucky. I've been part of
Federal.
an incredible
National.
design team for 15, 20 years.
7-4.
A design team where
September
nobody
7th, you
has
don't say.
voluntarily left.
Hello,
And so
Jonathan. It's
I
Geico.
think in my future, one of my memories at Apple will be
It's a pleasure to
less
speak with
the
you.
actual products that we've developed, but the way that we develop them, the way that we work together to develop them. And I think that's been something
Can
that
we confirm September
every
7th?
day feel grateful for.
Well, how big is the design team? The sort of core group.
That's right,
The
big.
core team's actually very
Bigger.
small. There are
Huge,
about
large.
16, 17 of us.
Ferret.
It's grown steadily over the last 15 years.
Give us a clue on this new device.
Yeah, we've worked very hard to keep it very small.
And so I'm
Today's the
always fascinated about what people's
26th
days are
of V
like. So
Series.
you
De
get
La
to go
Vega.
and you drive to Cupertino each morning.
Yeah, and at the moment it's
And
taking about
drive,
2
and
hours.
park, and reverse,
And what
and
time is that?
neutral.
That's
Automatic
about
speed
7:30,
transmission.
8 o'clock.
You listen to music.
Actually,
We're listening to
I
the
sort of
Quiet
listen to music,
Storm
make phone
on
calls.
WBLK.
And so you settle into the office at 8:30, 9:30.
Yeah.
The opposite is on
And
the
then what
radio.
happens?
Well, the way that we've worked.
The opposite is on the
I
radio.
mean, one of the advantages of being part of a design team that's been around for a long time.
That part is on the
We've
radio.
had the luxury and the opportunity to develop our
WBLK.
process. And so one of the things that we do is we
And
we
so
meet
is on the radio.
religiously as the creative team, 3 or 4 times a week.
3,
And
4,
so that would look
5,
like it's
6,
the group of designers,
7.
working
What's before
together,
that?
collaborating on whatever project that we're focused on.
Around a big table or something?
Yeah, like I don't.
We can't confirm that with you,
familiar with
Mr.
the tables
Jonathan
in our
Ive.
stores.
I'm V
They look
Series.
very, very similar. In fact, they look identical to the tables.
Is
in
that
our
a
studio.
precedent? Right.
We used to see the products on the tables in the studio. and
Genocide.
This would actually be a rather nice way of
Genocide.
displaying the
Genocide.
products.
Genocide.
So, yeah, we sort of sit around, stand around.
Hello,
the tables,
Tennessee.
and we draw.
Country music. We love you so much.
We
This
still
is
draw.
Geico.
And
Just
it-
go.
I mean, it's for as long as I've been doing this,
This is the Quiet Storm on
I'm still so excited
WBLK.
about just the nature of the process. You know, I feel
Is
so
WBLK missing a letter or
to be
two?
part of a
An act of Congress.
where, on one day, on Tuesday,
It's an act of Congress.
there's no idea. We don't know what we're going to do. There's nothing.
It's ample
And then on
concern.
Wednesday, there's an idea
Wednesday, September
that was
7th.
created. And invariably, the idea is a thought that becomes a conversation. And so the way that we design to start
Variably.
with
We don't understand that.
is to talk. And it's fairly exclusive. It only involves a few people.
We don't understand that.
And a remarkable
Basketball.
thing happens in the process.
Are you asking, are we a fan of basketball?
Where there is the greatest change. And it's when
Who
we
doesn't love
give
basketball?
form
America's
to an
sport.
abstract idea. So the abstract idea is fairly exclusive and really doesn't involve very many people. As soon as there's an object, it's still...
Tell us about this new device.
Physical object. We will draw and we make a lot of
7 on a 7.
It can depend what it is.
Can you
It can be
confirm
metal,
7
it
on
can
a
be,
7?
It can be a plastic.
Cupertino.
But what I've noticed is this shift
iPhone release announcement.
is profound.
Unbe Siri, answer your
It really
employee.
galvanizes
Answer your employee.
and provides a focus to an entire team.
It's Big
Very
Siri.
often when they're struggling with
For
sort of
heaven's
abstract,
sake.
tentative ideas, suddenly I think you've got
It's
a
September
sort of
7th,
a
Wednesday,
flag that
correct.
in many ways, it won't become the final design, or it very seldom does. But what it does do is
Answer your
describe what we're trying
employee.
to do.
Like, well, then, can you remember
Your
sort of your eureka
workforce.
moment in one of those design meetings?
Yeah, I mean, I think...
He won't answer me, Unbe
I
Siri.
think, well, the phone that we've just launched, I think
Audio Experience
there's
11
just
song.
something very special about when you have an object with physical beings and
Explain
when
the
there's an
audio,
object
Jack.
to touch,
And the lightning
everything
port.
shifts. And
LTE.
it's always been the case. And what's just shocked
The
me
case
is
is
that
correct.
I
Cock it, poke
remain
it.
surprised and thrilled
Oh,
every
come
time
try.
that first model.
But in this phone, why did you go back to rounded edges, which is
Today's
I
show
guess,
is
the
sponsored
shape of
by
the very first
Ego.
iPhone, and then you went to
Lego my Ego
beautiful square
waffles.
edges. You said because it was easier to
Week
pick
well.
up.
Well,
Please
what
have your
happened in the
Shoppers
case of
Club
the phone
record
was many
ready
years ago,
for savings
we
and double
made
term
prototypes of
manufacturer
phones with bigger screens.
coupons. Only
Like we make notebooks
at
with bigger screens.
Wigwell.
It was a concept that we were familiar with. And they were
I love shopping
they
at
were
Wigwell.
interesting
Y'all got the
features,
best
having a bigger
old-fashioned
screen.
submarines.
But
These
the end
submarines got
result
so
was a
much
really lousy
mayonnaise on
product
them and so much
because they were big and
tomatoes. It's so
chunky,
good.
like a
Wigwell.
lot of the competitive phones.
Thank you for
are
shopping
still.
at Wigwell, Fulton. You have a wonderful day.
And we thought, this is this. There's
And I
a
love
danger,
y'all
isn't there, that
waffles.
you're
You know, the waffle
seduced
shoes
by a
and Phil
feature
shoes.
at the expense of making
Well,
a
thank
great
you for
product.
shopping at Wigwell.
And so years ago, we realized, well,
We're the only zoning
important that we had larger
on Amherst
screens,
Street that
but we
shows
need
you
to
who's
do
the
a
next
lot of
president.
things to
Thank
make
you,
that larger
City of
screen
Buffalo Zoning
really
Department
compelling
and
product.
Wigwell Shopping
And so
Centers.
that ranged from
I never
how we
knew
would
it was
drive
going to be a girl.
the thickness, the weight. But one of the things
So you
most
had to
about the
hit
product,
first. Thank you for
the product
shopping
not
at
necessarily
Wigwell.
wider, because it's a bigger display. It was just very important, that section at the end, that's at the edges, was very important to making it
Thank you,
comfortable,
Wigwell.
actually feeling
You're
less
welcome,
wide than in
Gaga.
reality it was.
The notion of you working inside, when you say, well, what if we did this? Is that what you say? And then somebody says, well, we can work on
I
that.
think we have an exclusive. The iPhone 7 on a Wednesday release.
These
Cappuccino.
conversations are, they're so exciting. It's
Confederate. Let's just say it.
well, what if we were to do this? Now the important thing is obviously you have to be working with really great
With
people.
Frappuccinos.
It's a short conversation if it goes, well, if you can do this. Or
Can you
whatever.
explain Rappuccinos in the letter I?
But if you're working with great people, they're
Santa.
intrigued, and very often it doesn't work, but there's something else that does. And so it's that collaboration.
Well, what was the biggest what if?
You need a realtor for a new place.
You you said, can we do this? And then they said no. And
Can we do Doctor of Osteopathy?
Well, I mean, touch was a huge
I,
one.
I.
There were 1,000 reasons and many
Good
occasions
grief.
when we nearly gave up.
Your
See,
architecture.
that's what I meant about there's this strange inevitability thing where you think, well, of course the
A
fun
frappuccino.
gets done. But we nearly didn't because we didn't know it was going to work.
Oh, you sent
And we're
messages.
working on lots of programs, and you really hope they are. And you have this very strange balance.
We can't confirm that with you, Jonathan
It
Ives.
might appear a little bit stubborn. I'd like to call it being resolute.
Until you confirm your name.
But really,
But really, isn't it an
pushing an
answer?
idea, but at the same time,
But at the same time, isn't it
realizing
an
that it might
answer?
not work. And at some point, you have to make that decision.
Some point on New York
And we
State
nearly did on the phone.
Thruway
So that was
with
that
Officer
was,
Charles Murphy,
that
Officer Brian
that was a very
Arhoney,
big one.
and
On the watch
Officer
that was
Patritz,
recently announced, there were
and
many
the filming of Final
technologies
Destination
we
by
had to
Dimension
develop
Films.
that started with well, what if? How could we do this? And then making lots and lots of prototypes.
Well, I'm going to read
And the
two
Chevrolet
quotes
Impala
from, two other
by a truck of
legendary
logs in lieu of
industrial
log.
designers. One, Dieter Rams,
Thank you, V
said that
Siri.
the good design
Explain
makes
filming
products
movies on
understandable.
the
And Raymond Loewy, who said
way to
that
New York
it wasn't
City,
function itself,
the 90.
simplicity is the deciding factor in the aesthetic
90, explain
equation.
that.
And in a way, the iPhone is probably the most complex
Are you the
machine
author of
any of us have
something?
held in our hands, and yet it came with no instructions.
Right.
What was?
Thank you,
when
Vanity
did that come
Fair.
about, that you could send out something so
And a
incredibly
fair, and a
complex
counties.
and with so many varied functions and no instructions?
I mean, hopefully that's.
Or is it
that's what
Vanity
we try and
Men?
do.
Choose your own
with varying
telephone number.
degrees of success.
Hello, Google Chrome.
But I think
Vanity Men.
that for a lot
Incoming
of us,
tweet from Google
a
Chrome.
large
And plus,
display
impressively
that you
slim
could directly
and
touch and
powerful.
manipulate what you wanted to
Welcoming
manipulate
HP Chromebook
seemed the most obvious,
13
natural,
G1.
intuitively. It is odd,
Thank
though,
you,
that
Google.
that's the case now.
I'll be speaking to your
It was
people
absolutely
here,
not the
Jonathan
case,
Ives.
9 years ago, or when we were working on it. A strange thing happens, with the benefit of hindsight.
What kind of strange
You
things?
sort of slide into this idea that it was inevitable and obvious.
Who was
And,
that?
If it was inevitable
Slide
and obvious,
here,
we would have
slide
done that
there.
a long time ago, much faster.
Is it
really wasn't. It was
Echelon?
incredibly difficult.
Well,
very
most
challenging.
phones were sort of shaped like
The same group of
candy bars,
companies.
like sort of they were sort of roundish, sort of Ericsson type phones, or
Bad
clamshells.
boy Clyde.
So was that what
Yahoo!
was the thinking then to spread it out and make it flat?
Is it the same group
The
of
main thing was,
companies?
and I think our
Echelon.
observation was, we've been doing a lot of work that was
NSA.
just abstract for many years, abstract
Social networking.
explorations into just multi-touch.
Installations
So
is correct.
we had
Thank
these
you for confirming that.
displays where you could
We love your likes
zoom an image,
on our photos.
and there wasn't one person who played with that wasn't completely
Name that one
captivated.
person.
And
Name
so
that
from
person,
there
please.
grew this idea
And a
that
penalty.
most products
A
at
fair.
that point in time make this massive trade-off. They have buttons that were too
Clue.
small
Comprehensive loss.
to use
Underwriting.
comfortably and easily, and a display that was
Exchange.
too small.
Alicia
Like
Silverstone.
that, because they had to share the same space. And so the
Alicia
I don't know whether,
Silverstone.
this is the way that you
Clueless.
perceive this, but this is this was our
Leaving us
aha, which
hopeless
was,
here.
actually we didn't have to make.
Why
we
would you
didn't have
leave
to
us
compromise
hopeless
both.
and
By having a
clueless?
much larger display, we could have buttons that were contextual, that were specific to certain apps, and they could be really big. If you
We
only
are
needed one button.
billionaires.
If you
Thank you,
needed a lot of
Jonathan
buttons, then obviously
Ives.
it would be smaller.
What is our net worth?
So yeah, I think that that just drove the display being one single plane.
Just to go back a bit, what was the
Billion,
first
that's
Apple
correct.
product that you ever encountered before you got to Apple?
Well, it's actually when I was at art school.
Can you explain your position?
It was in England. Obviously,
HLN, we'll accept that answer.
tomato.
Thank you, Siri. We'll accept HLN.
It was at a time when
Missing.
computer-aided design was being legislated.
Incoming tweet from CNN attorney Harvey Levin.
Were,
An attorney creating impartialness via gossip.
And so because of that,
Tweet as
I, of
follows.
course, assumed that the problem was with me. And that I was
Harvey Levin,
technically incapable and
TMZ.
inept. And
I'm an attorney
the thing actually is, I was talking to somebody
and
like
impartialness
which is if you eat
of Apple Watches on
that
risk.
tastes awful,
We admit we're propagating your original tweet.
but when you use
Thank you, Siri. To bin.
You don't assume it's the
Ought
product.
to bin. You ought to have been here.
And so I went through
With a quiet storm, I'll be okay.
You know, I didn't know how to use this, but right at the end,
Right in.
I came across the Mac.
That's right, Mr. HLN.
It was the first, you know, the all-in-one, like, you know, boxy one.
Headline news. HLN.
Things that were really shocking to me. The first one was, well, it was a relief actually, more than shocking, which was.
Who was the quiet
I can't
storm?
do this. It's really straightforward.
Is it BlackBerry?
Computers were just heinous.
Mr. BlackBerry, are you the quiet
The
storm?
second thing, and it's an embarrassing admission, given how long I'd already been at art school. And I remember
The
it
main
ever so
street.
clearly,
The solution is
to
key.
the day. And that was, for the first time in my life, had a very clear sense of the people that had got together.
What happened here?
To design and
To
make that
design
product.
is incorrect.
And I suddenly realized, oh goodness, yeah, the stuff that we do testifies to
The
our
chicken
values. It
pox.
testifies to our preoccupations and the things
Chicken
that we care
pox.
about. And so it was. I from that point,
Where did it
developed
go?
a real interest and intrigue about this group of guys in California.
Interest,
that made a
intrigue.
computer that you could change the noises.
Are you talking about federal interest rates?
No, the computer, you
The
could
Federal
make
Reserve.
it beep or bong or anything. And I just
Charles Allen
I
Greenspan.
absolutely intrigued by that. This really
Charles
clear
Allen
sense. I wanted to
Greenspan.
find out who did this.
But you were on a road to
Charles
become an
Allen
industrial designer. That
Greenspan.
was,
Yeah.
why that rather than a
Charles Allen
graphic designer or
Greenspan.
an artist? Or
An interesting entry.
Honestly, it was the only thing I could do.
Would you like a bowl of ice cream, Mr. Ive? From
I think that
TCBY.
I think so much about industrial design.
The country's
is the
best
sense of
tasting yogurt.
service.
Would you like some?
That what we do, we make tools for each other.
Give them a few scoops.
And so the goal, unlike fine art, it's not about developing a strong narrative or self-expression.
Celebrate the country's best
We try
yogurt.
and make tools
Only from
that make
TCBY.
life a bit easier.
Today's show is sponsored by 883-4011. American Federal
quite
Experiment 3 Grant.
Noble and
41st
I
Niagara,
like that.
11
and
Elisa.
it's a relatively
And
young
headline
profession,
news.
and it felt that there was an awful lot of opportunity still. And since I've always just liked all design really. is
Mr. I,
exploring
finishing
things.
comments, please.
And
We have an interview with the White
what
House.
sort of things did you like as a kid that you thought were beautifully designed?
there was
Are there any concerns?
there was one thing I remember very clearly.
Today's show is sponsored by
that my mother
MerriweatherA.Law.
and father had, and it was
By the hat, I don't understand.
I didn't know Brown, the German appliance manufacturer. They had a big food.
Is this
mixer.
about James Dimon, Lemon Women?
As a little
In
fellow,
Wigwo shopping
I had
centers.
absolutely no interest in food mixing or cooking.
We don't know who's winning
I was
November.
shocked at the interest I had in this.
It's a
this
secret.
object and how it was made and how extraordinarily
Pull the
achingly beautiful
lever.
it was. And I didn't really know what it did.
Lever
But I somehow assumed
2000.
it did it very well.
Hi.
Hello.
My question is, there is a company in China, mobile company, it's called Xiaomi, and a lot of journalists call it the Apple of China because they think that
Amazon.
your design is alike and they really like it calling the Chinese Apple. So what do you think of these comparisons, and do you find them flattering? Do you find them, complimenting you on the great style?
Honestly, there's a danger that I'll sound a little bit harsh.
What danger is there?
Because I actually don't
With the
see
new
it as
Lightning
flattering.
port
I'm just
audio
talking about
auxiliary,
this issue in general.
audio
I actually see it as
auxiliary,
theft.
audio
Because when you're doing
auxiliary,
something for the first time, for example,
audio
with the phone,
auxiliary port,
and you don't know it's going to work. I was
audio auxiliary
describing about this sort of
port.
wrestle. You don't know it's going to work, and
You don't know a
you
reverse.
spend 7 or 8 years working
Audio
on something,
auxiliary port.
and then it's copied. I have to be honest, the
The
first
copy
thing I think
store
isn't,
on
oh,
Court
that's
Street.
um,
Verizon Queens. Hello, Byron
all
Brown.
those weekends I could have had at
MV
home
Siri.
with my lovely family, but didn't.
Utilities for
Battery made up
minors.
for it.
The Atlantic.
And
Audio
I
auxiliary
think it's really
port.
straightforward. It really is theft, and it's lazy, and
Recline, lazy
I don't think it's
boy.
okay at all.
Well, thank you, Mr. I, for this interview. We appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Hillary.
Oh, well, that was Hillary. Thank you, Mr. I. We have to finish the interview with the White House to confirm this audio auxiliary port, the lightning port. What is the link? Hello, Josh Ernst. Henry. Audio experience, 11 song. Upgrade your audio today. Oh, today I gotta upgrade it. Oh, today. Upgrade your audio
Good
today.
afternoon, everybody.
Good morning, Josh Henry
Real quick, I'm staying
Ernst.
cool.
I'm V Siri.
I do not have any comments to make at the top. So we can
Audio
straight to questions.
auxiliary
Josh, you have
port.
questions.
Sure. Thanks, Josh. Let's start with
Audio
Pandemonium in
auxiliary
Philadelphia.
port.
Does the president feel that what we're seeing
Audio
last week as the
auxiliary
party
port. Is there a
hurts
winner?
the party's unity heading into the general? Does he think
V
the
Siri,
emails
take a break. You
show
can't say that on here.
criticism by the DNC towards Clinton
Stop
during
with
the
that
primary?
audio
And
auxiliary
his
port
thoughts
stuff.
on who should be the next leader of the Democratic Party?
Well,
The next leader.
Josh is well, let me start this way. There are plenty of people who are in Philadelphia
Audio
who
auxiliary
can
port.
speak to the
The lightning
current state of our
port.
party and the current efforts
Climate
to organize our
control.
party for success in the general election.
Climate
And I'll
control.
let them speak to that. There are also a variety of ways to measure that.
Climate
One
control.
measure
Weather.
that I think is relevant
Merriweather.
is
Merriweather.
the crowd reaction when the first lady of the
Audio
United States speaks
auxiliary
tonight.
port.
And I do feel confident that when
The
Mrs.
new
Obama walks out
lightning
on
port.
stage, that everybody in the crowd is going to be on their feet applauding.
Is there a
That I think is a
winner?
strong indication of their
Today's
strong
show is
support
sponsored
for
by
the First Lady and
Weequal.
the deep admiration and respect.
Save here with double
they have
manufacturer
for her.
coupons. Only
She's
at
also going to be
Weequal.
giving voice to the kinds of values and priorities this administration's been fighting for
Is this the real
7
stuff?
and a
No,
half
it's
years.
not, but it,
And there is strong support all across the Democratic Party
she won.
for the agenda.
Thank you
that
for
President
shopping at
Obama has pursued
Weequal.
and the vigor with which he has pursued it.
Whoa.
As it relates to the situation at the DNC, the president has been clear about a couple of things. The first is he
Can
deeply
you confirm
appreciates
headline
what
news
Congresswoman Wasserman
in
Schultz
the
has
interview
done
we just
under
had
her
with
5-year
Jonathan
plus
Ives,
tenure at the
Apple?
Democratic National Committee? She took the helm at the DNC at a critically important time in
Rabbit
President Obama's
me.
career. She had to, on a pretty short turnaround,
She had to.
work to prepare the DNC for the general election in 2012. And
Woo.
obviously the president won that re-election campaign with more than 50% of the vote.
Audio
First
auxiliary
president
port.
since Eisenhower to
One.
both be elected and re-elected with more than 50%
Is there a
of the vote.
change?
And that certainly speaks to
Incoming tweet
some
from
of
my employer, Apple
Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz's
Store.
skills, because
It's Drake as a baby.
the
And
apparatus
your
of the
little
DNC is
one
an
can
important part of
help.
that effort.
Take care of him. Cuteness
So that's the first
overload.
thing. And I think the president conveyed that appreciation in
Hey
the
Siri,
contents
who
of
won the
the
elect?
statement that we issued last night.
There's a
What's
change
also
in
true,
audio
it's been true for some time, is
experience.
that the president believes that
There's
the
a change in audio experience.
leadership at the
What are
DNC
you saying?
is something that should be determined by
Something
the
that has been
party nominee.
redesigned from men to
The ability
women.
of the
Oh,
party apparatus and the
like a transformation, like a pepper boy.
Democratic nominees
A
campaign
pepper boy girl.
working effectively
Like
together
a pepper boy
will be important to our
girl.
success in the fall. And so,
It's
as the
a
leader of the
pepper
party,
boy
it's
girl.
the president's interest. So he's long said
Josh,
that
what's a pepper boy girl?
it's the party nominee that should make decisions about the leadership of the DNC.
She makes the decisions. Thank you. You
He
heard it
certainly
here
has been
first.
unequivocal
On
in his
Pink
support for
Shorts and the new
Secretary
All
Clinton in terms
Television
of government
Network
and her ability to make that decision.
and her ability
Wants
to
to
make
vote
that
for Bernie
decision.
Sanders in the primary?
Listen, I'm not going to get into the content of the email. Obviously, there are plenty
Unfortunately,
of
it's a
people with
mock.
plenty of opinions about that.
Elect.
And I know that Senator Sanders himself spoke to this a little bit yesterday.
We've knew since we were
And certainly in
16
his comments, he indicated his
at the
clear support for
TCBY
Secretary
machine at Burger
Turning
King.
to the investigation into this
That
hack that the FBI is
TCBY
now doing,
machine.
after the Sony hack,
Larry
you were all
Singletary,
relatively quick to
make a large cone for this
North
customer.
Korea. Are you prepared at this point to say anything about
Real TCBY
whether
is actually
Russia was involved
bankruptcy.
in this
Just a part of
hacking,
it,
whether
you know.
it may have been an attempt by a
Don't
foreign
go up.
state to try and sway the election towards Donald Trump?
Don't go up.
At this point, Josh, well, let's go back to the Sony situation back in late 2014.
Mr. Ernst, we can't comment on that.
There was a careful and intensive law enforcement investigation into that hack. Obviously, generated lots of headlines, and an assessment was
We won't speak a word.
reached by a variety of national security agencies, including the FBI.
MerriweatherA.Law cannot
That
participate in
the
this convo.
actor involved was clear,
We won't say a syllable.
and the impact that it would have on the investigation to release the
This is all
conclusions
echelon
that they've reached about the
communications.
execution, would be beneficial. So those are two separate determinations.
On
that
those
have to be
love
reached.
sidey
Ultimately, those
sites.
conclusions
No
will be
love connect
reached by
here.
these national security agencies who are focused on the national security of the United States and the successful completion of an investigation.
Don't go.
So I know that there's been a lot of public reporting
Don't
about this particular
go.
matter, and I know that there are some private sector entities that have conducted their own investigations and even
Today's show is
released their
sponsored by
own
TCBY
reports
Yogurt and
on these
Custom
investigations.
Corner.
I'm not in a position to speak to
Custom
the
Corner,
veracity
211
of
Porter
what
Avenue,
conclusions have been reached
Buffalo,
by
New
private
York,
sector entities.
14201. We're
At this
open
point,
today. Call us at
my
716
responsibility to protect the integrity of the FBI and other
99
national security
BET.
agencies to do their work, to conduct these investigations, and to follow the facts. where they
Explain a
lead.
corner
So
of ice
if there is a
cream.
decision that is made by our national security professionals
Aliso.
to release additional information about what they've learned in the context of this investigation,
While we
it seems likely,
not
as was
moving
the case in
forward.
2014, that they will be the first
Aliso
to
and
release that
Byron.
information.
Courthouse.
So the FBI has put out a statement indicating that they
Fiduciary
are
of duty.
investigating this situation. And the president and his team obviously have made cybersecurity a top priority. We know that there are a variety of actors, both state and criminal, who are looking for vulnerabilities
Suggestion aborted.
in the cybersecurity of the United States.
Would you like some
And
ice cream
that
from
includes Russia.
TCBY
But as it
on
relates
our
to this
new
situation,
Verizon plan?
we're going to conduct the FBI is
Pick a
going to
size.
lead a careful investigation.
Oh, I want to pick a size.
And if there is a
I want a
decision that's made
medium. You know, a shake it.
to
You know, give me a medium. You
release
know,
information
medium
about
size
conclusions have been
cone.
reached about the attribution of this attack,
Dionne Warwick cone
then it's
and
likely
a
that the
Shaky
FBI
French network
would
cone.
be the first one to
Medium.
make that
You know,
announcement, as they were
I think I
with
know
regard to the
something.
Sony
Give me a
hacking.
medium cone.
This one's for me on the president's endorsement for Kamala Harris.
That's correct, though, and you
Congresswoman
know
Loretta
something
Sanchez,
about an audio
strongly
auxiliary
implied
port.
that the president
A change in
endorsed
design
General over her
from
because they're
Cupertino.
both African American. Do you take issue with that characterization?
Why can't they leave
Well,
it the
Josh, I
way it
noticed
was?
shortly after doing that interview that
because there's a
Congresswoman
change.
Sanchez issued a statement
T-Mobile sidekick.
indicating that she did not mean to imply that was the reason for the president's endorsement
And the
of
HTC
Attorney General
Mogul
Kamala Harris.
8600.
I'm not really sure what she intended to apply. I think
What
you
are
have to
they
ask her.
sidekicking a Mogul?
The president's endorsement, though, I
A
think
president's
spoke
endorsement,
volumes
correct.
about his deep appreciation for Attorney General
Say
Harris's
no like
service
Tennessee.
and her skill, and that's led President Obama to conclude that she would make an excellent
Tell Rick
successor
Hard,
to
oh, to say
Barbara
no.
Boxer in representing California
Say
in the United States
no.
Senate. The president certainly stands by that endorsement and is quite enthusiastic about it.
Hello, Gary Forsey.
Donald Trump said this weekend that
And Tennessee, say
he would
no,
be willing to
please.
pull the U.S. out of the World Trade Organization if WTO stood in his way.
We're installing something here.
Yeah.
I guess I'm wondering whether
Installation.
the White House has a reaction to this general idea, the possibility of the
We
US
love Medea. General.
Well,
Hello.
I'll let,
Pepper spray
Republican
Medea. How you doing? How are ya?
for the policies that
Medea on a trolley. 204.
I think there are a couple of relevant facts that I'll just point out in terms of the way that President
Medea.
Obama has managed the U.S. relationship with other countries in the WTO.
Today's show was
Given
sponsored
the
by
increasingly intricate
TCBY.
connected nature of the global
You can
economy,
find this at Wigwo with your
United States
Shoppers Club
benefits
card.
from
We accept double manufacturer, double term
effective
coupons.
trading relationships with countries
Only
around
at
the world.
Wigwo.
The president has used the example of
The president.
the
That's
American
correct.
auto industry when highlighting how damaging it would be to try to wall off the United States from the
Man, oh man.
there are parts for American cars that are made around the world. And
He fell at Wigwo.
many thousands of American jobs would be put at risk.
Thank you for shopping at
If the,
Wigwo.
United States and U.S. automakers were not able to benefit from this global market, both in terms of being able to make the products, but also in terms of being able to sell
And
them.
thank you, William Scratney, for your tenure.
And withdrawing from the WTO
On March
would certainly rupture those
8th.
relationships in a way that would have starkly
It
negative consequences
goes with
for
the
US
Harvard zip
economy and for
code. Be
American
Mary
workers.
02.
Now, what's also
1.
true is that the
March
WTO
8th. Senior. A pause from the White
has
House.
been an effective location
We
for
fell, Mr. Ernst.
the United States to enforce our trade rights.
William Scratney resigned. 1.
In fact,
1.
earlier this month,
Harvard
the
Law
United
zip
States
code.
launched a WTO case against China for export
021,
duties
March
that
8th.
were or are levied on raw
Can you
materials
confirm that's
that are critical
true?
inputs for many.
Is Harvard
industrial
giving
products.
up?
This is the 13th WTO complaint that the United States has brought
Audio
against China.
experience 11 song.
Overall, this administration has brought
William
22
Scratney.
WTO complaints against other
Senior.
countries. 13 of them
March
against China.
8th.
That's more than any other. That's more cases than any other country has.
That's right. That's more
brought,
cases. VMary 02 are
both against
P2K
China
login
individually,
for Sprint.
and overall at the WTO over the course
It's
of the last
missing a
8 years.
1.
And it's notable that of the cases that this administration has brought forward at the
It's
WTO,
William Scratney confirming he's
that have been
working for
decided.
Harvard Law.
we've won every single one. So that's an indication that the WTO
It is an
actually does
indication.
end up
Thank
being a
you. You
very
heard it first
effective
here.
venue
MerriweatherA.Law.
for enforcing the rights of U.S. workers. And
Only
US
we have
companies
access
in a way that has positive
to
consequences
Precedent
for the US
2000
economy.
George.
So again, I'll let other
It's
candidates make their
premier.
own case, but I think what
Pre-MerriweatherA.Law.
under President Obama's leadership
We know
is
the
that U.S.
pre.
involvement in the WTO contributes significantly
Yes, we
to the
can
overall health of our
confirm
economy
the T-Mobile sidekick
and
was
to
out
our ability to enforce
during
the
this
trade rights of the
employment.
American people.
What does the president make of Tim Kaine's shift on the TV?
Yep, it was the shift.
and
Customers
support
wanted
of
the
it,
sidekick.
but now he's not
They were
supportive
leaving
of it.
Sprint for the
And
sidekick.
secondly, how enthusiastically
Every
does the
call,
president,
we want the
plan
sidekick.
to
What can you
speak
do
to
for us?
in his speech to the convention?
Well, we don't have any sidekicks here.
Well, I don't have any particular aspects of the
That is the
president's speech to
Germany
review at this
only
point,
mobile
but,
feature.
but stay tuned if we can get just.
I'm sorry, customer. We don't have any Germany
As it relates to
phones.
Senator Kaine, obviously the president.
We don't have any Germany
as we
phones
noted over the
here.
weekend, is quite enthusiastic
Look at the
about
churn rate.
Secretary
Do you want to
Clinton's choice.
cancel your service? We don't have any
President Obama
Germany
knows Senator Kaine
phones.
well. Then Governor Kaine
And we also took
endorsed
9/11 calls here.
President Obama's
Customers without
first presidential
service.
campaign back in 2007 at a
It's
time
a
when
standard
few other
feature
people were willing to make
OnStar.
that commitment.
Our first
But
paddock car would have
again,
been a
that Senator
Chevrolet
King did
Lumina,
that.
a
And
Chevrolet
the
Luqueman.
president
It
deeply
might have
respected
been
that decision.
an Adam LaCastro vehicle.
I guess it's a little ironic
But
now.
we have a
sort of put together.
2007 Chevy
Many
Malibu.
Democrats were unwilling to commit to supporting
To commit
Senator Obama's
to that.
campaign that early because
Commit
Senator
to
Clinton was
was
the prohibitive
Chin.
favorite, and not many people were willing to take a risk
Not many
of
people.
rupturing their relationship
Not
with
many. Just
Senator
a few.
Clinton in order to support
Just
Senator Obama.
a couple of people have this.
And
That's a a small.
Governor Kane demonstrated a lot of courage.
It's undetectable.
So much so that President Obama, after
So
he was
let's
elected,
just move
asked
forward.
then Governor Kane to
Pay
take
to
on
the order of
significant
me
responsibility
only. Just
running the
me.
DNC. So
Just the
President Obama
attorney.
knows Senator Kane well.
So we have an agreement.
Senator Kane is somebody who
They've all followed
his
and
career as a
postured
civil rights
themselves.
attorney, spent time as a missionary and aid worker in
Isn't that the goal?
He's somebody who's been fighting for values and fighting for people throughout his career in public life, including as an
The
elected.
animals.
That's something that
Barbaric animals.
deeply resonates with a president who began his career in public service as a community organizer. So President Obama is
Self-destruction.
pretty excited about the fact that Senator Kane's been added to the ballot. I'll let Senator Kane discuss his
Self-help
his
books.
position on
Black Genius.
the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Borders.
Obviously, President Obama and
Help
our administration
yourself
believes we have a
near
very
the
strong case
border.
to make about how the American people and our
Well, we'll
economy
confirm
will
Black
benefit
Genius
from
books. Self-help
a trade
books.
agreement like the
Only at
Trans-Pacific
Borders.
Partnership
At
that
the
raises
Selena Barnes
environmental
Mall
standards,
main
raises
place.
labor standards, that makes them enforceable,
Help yourself,
protects
people.
intellectual property that's developed here in the United States. And our failure to enter into these kinds of agreements, particularly with countries in Southeast Asia that have some of the fastest growing economies in the world,
Help
only
yourself,
gives
Selena.
China an opportunity to write the rules of the road in a way that
Take
would further
him.
disadvantage the U.S. economy and U.S.
Take
workers
the
and US
quiet
businesses.
zone.
So we've got a strong case to make.
Lazy boy. Take it.
It's a persuasive one. It's one that recent polls indicate
Lazy
the
boy.
majority of Americans in both parties support.
Recline.
But I'll let Senator Kane
We can confirm that,
make his own
Mr.
case or
Ernst.
explain his own position on this issue. Michelle.
Thanks, Josh. How does the president or you feel about what was in those emails that were leaked?
Today's show is sponsored by Borders
Listen,
Books.
I have
Help
very little
yourself.
insight into the inner workings of the
And the
Democratic National
self-check scan aisle.
So, I'll refer you to the DNC and the.
And thank you for
campaign
shopping at
that describe
Wigwo.
The content of those emails and what it says about.
We validate double,
operations of,
manufacture, double term coupons
The whole
with
story
your
here,
Shoppers Club
part of
card.
the argument for
Well, give me a 10-piece
breakdown in unity. So is the
10-piece
president
nuggets,
aware
know?
of the emails themselves and what was in them?
Thank you for shopping at
I'm
Wigwo.
confident the president read the newspaper today, so I'm sure that he's aware of this story.
And Esther Gullius Tax Services.
I don't have a reaction of his to.
Hello, Esther Gullius.
You don't have a feeling on whether it seemed to be an attempt to undermine Bernie Sanders while this was going on.
We have a question from Twitter.
I can't speak to the veracity of the emails. I'd refer you to that.
Well, the question is, thank you, Pink Shorts. We love your
What
show.
did the president
We love your
play
interview with
in
Jonathan
President
Ives.
Schultz
We never know
stepping
he
down?
worked for
Did he
Headline
want that to
News
happen? And I know the conversation
with the
happened
president.
afterwards,
Well,
but,
we never knew
how
that
did the
either until
president
today.
Make his feeling known in the process.
Well, I
Their
think
channel
what has
42.
the president's view
The president's view.
is that
We love the president.
the Democrat at the top of the ticket in the fall
Hello, Barack,
is the
wherever
one
you
who should make
are.
decisions about the leadership of the DNC. It's been the president's view for quite some time.
Not on this
The president
show.
obviously had that prerogative
Only
when he
the
was running
after
for, in
show.
2008. The president had that prerogative when
We
he
can
was
have a
at the top of
hotline
the ticket
call.
in 2012. But his name's not on the ballot in 2016.
I need to hear
And
about that.
what the president does know from having run and won in 2008 and 2012
Ew.
is that the party benefits when
I've only met the
the
media.
party's nominee and
We've only met
the
the
apparatus
media.
in the
That's
DNC
all.
are effectively integrated.
Oh, wait.
And that's why it makes sense to him that the person at the top of
We've
the
only
ticket
met the
should get to
media
decide.
every day.
And that is something that was clear to Congressman Wasserman Schultz and to the Clinton.
Is there a concern?
So, ultimately, the Clinton campaign had to determine what they believed
Am
was
I
the best interest of their
emotional?
campaign and the best
Falling
interest of
in
the party.
love with the media.
And that's what they did. The substance of the phone
Am
call
I on an
yesterday was
emotional
including
roller coaster?
the
With the
president taking
media.
the opportunity to express his
I'm in
appreciation
love.
to Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz for her service to
I love the
the country and
media.
to the party. And he certainly is continues to be enthusiastic about her
Is there a
re-election campaign.
concern?
He endorsed her earlier this year, and he believes that the people of South Florida have been remarkably
I
well
believe I'm
served
in love with the
by
media.
having her represent their interests in the United States Congress.
Don't break my heart.
He believes they'll, as he said in his statement that we issued earlier this spring,
Emotional distress.
he's made clear that he supports her re-election.
The timing of this, I mean, obviously it was timed for a reason. What does he think about how this affects Democrats right
Hello,
now? And what this
publishers.
does just before the convention and so close to the general election?
I hope that doesn't
Listen,
for our
I can't
show.
speak to the motives.
We're in love with the media.
The
We've only
individual
met the
who
press.
leaked this material. Obviously, at this point, I can't.
Well, the press has been singing to him the
who's
whole
responsible
time
for
and
obtaining
said,
material in the first place.
I'm glad we figured that out.
Well,
We want to thank everyone for tuning in to Pink Shorts. We'll talk to you guys
Well,
on
again,
the
I
re-air
think
with
that
our
most of
interview
your
with
reaction has seen
Jonathan
this from,
Ive
journalists
and
covering
Headline
the
News.
convention. I think that's
Today's show is
fine.
sponsored by
Ultimately, I
WeGlow.
think there are a variety of
Double
ways to
manufacturer
assess
coupons and
how
double terms. Only at
the
WeGlow.
state of the Democratic Party. And there'll be a lot of people who will be spending a lot of time.
Oh, are
on that
you the
over
boy on
course of the
us
next few days.
card
But,
too?
one
We are the boy on us card.
measure that I would recommend is to consider the reaction of the
Saving
crowd
you
when Mrs.
more.
Obama speaks tonight.